Hi, everyone, and welcome into the Bases Live presented by Enterprise Bank and Trust. I think it's Tuesday. Yep. Think about it for a second. Episode 21. Hope everyone is off to a decent start to your week and trying to stay positive during all of that. Look, we're all going through the ups and downs. I am a glass half full, very positive guy. Yesterday, for about a couple hours, maybe more than a couple hours, I don't know what triggered it, but just a few things got me down in the dumps. I'll tell you what, I woke up today. I'm ready to go. I'm energized. I think I've already had about 5 conversations, Zoom or phone calls. I'm not saying it's not a race. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I got to wake up and I got to work. And so I'm energized by that. I can't thank enough my friends at Enterprise Bank and Trust. Hashtag know you for their support. And I know they're about to get super busy again with that next round of PPP funding coming in. So I couldn't do this without them and their support for our community. I want to remind everybody to check out that website at caseycattlecompany.com. My experience is today is usually the day, if they're sold out of certain items, that it reloads again today. So get those orders in. They deliver to all 50 states. If you're watching around the country, they make that drive over to Kansas City from Weston, usually on Fridays. Veteran owned and operated. Awesome guys led by Patrick Montgomery, who has been on this show and my regular weekly Rounding the Bases podcast. We had skirt steak last night in the Goldberg house. I don't know that anybody cares other than the fact that it was from Casey Cattle Company. I don't feel like, I don't mean to be a walking NASCAR ad here, but this shirt, advertising Mavericks hockey, because I do broadcast Mavericks hockey games when it's winter. And yes, I've had a couple people say to me, hockey's misspelled. Yes, because it's got that beautiful KC in there, and it is the work, among many other items that I have, of Charlie Hustle. The pause right there. By the way, Chase, I just realized this. Chase McAnulty is our guest. And his name is not Charlie Hustle, but I believe that in the midst of the chaos of being from boom, 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 you just quickly typed in Charlie Hustle. I will not call you Charlie because you're my friend Chase, but it's good to see you, my friend. And I had to break this out for you today. It's one of my favorite logos that you guys do. You guys got a lot going on. For anyone that sees all those Casey hearts all over town, you're looking at the guy on the right side of your screen whose company has done all of that, become iconic here in Kansas. Before we talk, Chase, about your pivots, and even before we talk about the heart, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. A little tired. I got a 6-month-old in, some sleeping regression right now, but it's all worth it, and it's nice to be home to be able to see her grow up a little bit. So there's some silver lining there, and other than that, we're busy. We keep moving forward, and we're making masks. It's crazy. So,
well, I know. First off, in quote unquote normal times, if there is such a thing, you're always busy. I think, and I know you well enough that that's the way you're wired. So this is a different busy. Obviously, it's a different level of stress. I'm telling you though that right now. And I won't share all the details, but I had a quick little conversation with Royals manager Mike Matheny today, and he turned everything upside down. And I've been trying to think this way too, but he basically just talked about the opportunity that we have right now. And it's so easy to get down in the dumps. He said, I won't let my mind go there and won't let the people around me go there to think about what is wrong, because there's so much that can be right or so much opportunity. And so, for you guys, you have to do that right now, right? I mean, there is opportunity here.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, this is where the stronger companies thrive. I thoroughly enjoy kind of having, your arms tied, and you have to kind of figure your way out of, okay, things aren't the same. You can't produce T-shirts. You can't screen print anything. All your partners that you work with can't do anything. So, it's like, what can you do? And, it's also Simon Sinek. I was listening to one of his YouTube shows the other day, and he brought up a good point that, these aren't necessarily unprecedented times. Sure, the virus and all of that is unknown and uncertain, but things like this have happened before. From a business perspective, I would say we're always, caught off guard with different situations, and whether it's a stock market crash or 9/11, there's things that happen that cause us to adapt and adjust, and I think that's what makes a good business owner, and more importantly, what makes a good entrepreneur. But I think it's fun. It's an interesting time. But you're right. There's a lot of opportunity that comes with it. So
that opportunity right now involves still seeing that heart pop up, but I'm seeing it pop up on masks right now, right?
Yeah, it's been crazy. We had 500 people popping in saying, you guys got to make masks. You got to make masks. And the timing. It's always about timing. When does it make sense? Can we even produce? If we're going to put something out, we can't. It can't be, 1,000 masks. This is if we're going to put it out, it's probably going to have a big effect. And at the same time, we want to be able to support, our community and the people that need them most, our essential workers. And so we took some time to really figure that out and look at our manufacturing, American manufacturing and global manufacturing. Who's able to produce this right now? And we got our team together and figured it out. And so yeah, we're set to donate over 35,000 masks in just 10 days time. Our goal is 100,000. It's been amazing. It's helped really keep our business moving forward, allowing us to at least pay our people and give us something to do during this time. Yeah. So it's interesting, that's for sure.
How have you handled your people? I mean, everything's perspective in my opinion. So like I could sit there right now and say, oh man, like, I don't love baseball. And, like I personally haven't had a regular paycheck since the first week of October. But then I sit there and I think, okay, so I just have to figure out a way to take care of my family, but I don't have to take care of other employees. I can, I could cut some things out and with my speaking business and the way I'm doing things, like I can adjust, I can hang in there for a while. I go to bed at night with, worries like anybody else, but I think all the time about employers that don't have to just put food on their own table. They have to put food or help put food on other people's tables. So, and you can take that to the highest level. You can take that to the CEO of someone that's leading 1,000 people, 10,000 people. And who knows what's on their mind right now? They may seem like they're loaded with money and they're fine, but that doesn't mean that there isn't stress. So how are you pushing through that?
Well, I think it goes back to opportunity again. This is another opportunity for me as a leader to step up, and it's part of our core values of just unity and service and loyalty. Actually, that's 3 of them. We spell hustle with ours, which is honesty, unity, service, transparency, loyalty, and empowerment. But we use those things to guide what we do, and I have to lead that way as well. If I'm gonna suggest that to our team, so this is an opportunity for our leadership to step up. It wasn't really a question of whether we were going to pay our people or not. We knew, that you mentioned the PPP program, and just the government. They're going to find ways to support. So, and I think it's a testament to where our company is now. Our people have gotten us there to feel comfortable and confident, just moving forward. And I think it's also allowed everybody to rally behind, what we're doing right now. So we're getting through it, and we're turning a weird situation into something pretty positive. And I think we're going to come out of this much better.
Yeah, I was having a talk with another CEO this morning, and he said to me, and he's got over 900 people. He said to me, the question that leaders need to ask right now, and I don't know exactly how he led into this, but I wrote down what he said. What are you doing for your people? And then my comment to that was, I would play this game to any leader or company out there. Answer this question, fill in the blank. When times got tough, I or we fill in the blank. I think that's going to define so many of us. And in your case, Chase, so much of what you guys have done shows everywhere you go in Kansas City. People identify with that heart. I was walking through the neighborhood yesterday. It's not enough just to see it on a t-shirt. I saw it on a flag.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's Charlie Hustle right there. That's Kansas City. That's the heart of Kansas City. How much are you blown away, even before this all began, at seeing your work represent so much of Kansas City? And that really became official this year too.
Yeah. It's amazing. And you set out to, anytime you set out to build a business, you have to have a vision of where you want to go. And you have plans to get there, but they all change and develop and they evolve in weird ways. I think the KC Heart was something where I was into sports apparel and I wanted to, make vintage inspired gear relative to sports. And we had this little KC Heart thing that was our 16th design out of 16 t-shirts that we launched. The day we launched, we sold 27 shirts, which was pretty good. And 14 of those shirts were this KC Heart. So we knew right then and there we had something. And we started building, pops up on Paul Rudd during the 2014 World's, actually the A's game, the wild card game, a crazy one. And it just kind of spitballed into there. There was a perfect storm of events, a lot of luck. You transfer that to now, it's turned into, we have a responsibility. For one, we could have done a NY, LA, we could have taken it to other cities, but it's really about what it represents here. It represents, the heartland. It represents, the people that we are, the movers and shakers in this city, and the kind, Midwest values we all share. And I think it's become a symbol that's, especially during this time, can be extremely supportive, something that we can rally behind, and certainly something that, we've been through the heart and different campaigns. We've been able to provide 50,000 meals for harvesters. We've made an activity sheet for kids where they can design their own heart. And Anheuser-Busch even stepped up. For every KC Heart shirt we sell this month, they're donating $5 up to $25,000. Charlie Hustle is going to match that, and we're going to help hospitality workers. So it's not just stepping up with your employees, but I think we have a responsibility and a duty to our community that has supported us to support them. And we're blessed and grateful and just lucky to be able to kind of share that voice, I guess. But it's super cool. And I think it's important as a leader to step up.
Man, you are inspiring me with everything that you're saying. I'm not surprised. I know you well enough to know that. And I know it's, I'm not trying to be punny or whatever. It is from the heart, and it's who you guys are. And so amidst all of the hard work and the lack of sleep and the baby at home and all that, I know you're still producing. I know you're still getting it done, which is amazing. My question that I'm thinking about is, like, so you started what year? 2000 what?
2012 is when we actually
okay. So you were a young guy then. You're still young, by the way, in my mind. Younger than me, for sure, a lot younger than me. But wiser, I'm sure, much more wise about anything and everything
Yeah.
in life, and of course, much more to learn. Right? You got a 6-month that'll hold. You got a lot. You got a lot to learn, Chase. But
Oh, yeah.
I just wonder, like, so much of everything in life is timing. If this pandemic had hit in 2012 or 2013, could you have survived it?
As a startup, probably not. I think about, all those. I have a buddy that has another clothing line that started a couple years ago. I think about him, and again, it's a testament to our people and where they've taken our brand and what I've been able to learn. Like you said, as a leader, I remember 3 years ago, I really needed help if we were going to take things to the next level, and I found that in a Vistage group with different CEOs that had already been through this stuff, and mentors that it's really just about having the tougher conversations and being in a room of people that share, it's all relative, I guess. Things that you can't always share with your employees or work out through your employees. But yeah, I mean, it would be tough for sure.
So what advice, because you can walk in those shoes because you've been in them, and I'll get back to the heart word. I mean, I think being an entrepreneur involves so much heart. It involves resiliency. The odds are stacked against you. I can relate to it. I mean, okay, fine. I started my entrepreneurial journey 3 years ago, starting my speaking business. It's different because I have the baseball thing. If that didn't work out, I was okay. I wasn't putting all my world into it. It feels like I have, and it matters. Don't get me wrong. But where I could really relate to it is how I started my broadcast career, because now I was 22 years old. The odds were against me. You make zero money. You work 14, 16, 18 hours a day, and you go back the next day and the next day and the next day, and either you get it or you don't. And there's some good fortune along the way. But a lot of people drop off just because, man, this isn't for the faint of heart. It's just not. So what, for the entrepreneurs out there, the newer entrepreneurs, the startups, whatever the industry, it doesn't have to be what's your advice during these times, or just for anyone at any stretch of life that's trying to start? Because it's not easy. You guys make it look easy. I know much better than that. It's not easy.
Yeah, I think, one thing I've always said is do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do. That's something that's just kind of guided me, even just, on the entrepreneurial level. I think during these times, Jackie Robinson has a great quote that I always, probably the one quote I resonate with most is, life is not important except in what you do for others. And that's pretty bold. But at the same time, this is a time where it's, we're all in this together kind of situation. It really is about what you can do for others, because absolutely, as an entrepreneur and a small business owner, those things come back to you. And you don't really know how or when or why, but if you move forward helping others first and put that in the, prioritize that, you'll get so much more. And the people you will meet, I was thinking about Dr. Seuss and the places you will go. My mom gave me that book on my high school graduation, and I thought it was, of course I've read it, I read it growing up as a kid, but that was something that always stuck with me too. So those three things, those are personal experiences. But I think you just, as a business owner, God, it's got to be fun to just have your back up against the wall. That's what it means to be a startup, and it doesn't change. Things develop and evolve, and you learn how to work with different personalities and realize that the people that got you there in the beginning, may not get through to the next phase of where you're going, but you're grateful for the journey. That's the way I look at it.
It's awesome perspective. It really is. And by the way, that applies to not just entrepreneurs. I think that applies to life. I have found myself taking this approach throughout all this. And I probably had 2 days. So there are probably a dozen people out there that got like the panic email from me when I realized baseball was shut down. And in my mind, I knew it wasn't going to be just 2 weeks. And it was like, wait a minute. Well, now what do I do? Well, I got the speaking business. That's kind of going away too. And there's a pivot. That's a whole nother story. There's a pivot to speaking virtually now. But my first day or two was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Do you have anything for me? And then it's just like the light bulb went on and it was like, how can I help you?
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's the number one question right now. How can I help? Or as a company, how can we help? And by the way, it doesn't have to be in terms of money. It doesn't have to be in terms of whatever it is. Like somebody asked me to get involved in something for fundraising for an amazing cause. I'm not very comfortable fundraising. I tried it once. I'm just not, I don't know if I'm bad at it or not. I'm not comfortable with it, but I have a voice.
Yep.
I could certainly get messaging out there. I could do things like this, whatever it is. I mean, there are ways we can all contribute. And it's not to me, it's not a quid pro quo thing. It's just a sort of a law of reciprocity. Like just sort of like that do unto others what you want done to yourself, right? It just, and I think this is what you're saying. You don't know how it's going to come back. It just will. And so it might be a connection. It might be it might not be in business. It just, when you do good for others, they're going to want to do good for you.
Absolutely. I mean, we learned it in kindergarten, like treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah. Otherwise it turns into a food fight. What everybody keeps using this expression. I haven't heard of a better one yet. Maybe there is, but everybody keeps saying about when we come out on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right way to say it or not. Maybe it is, because I don't think that we'll ever go back to the way things were before. I think we can get back to normal.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the normal today. We're settling into it. We don't like it, but make the best of it, right? Like, don't, there's opportunity here. But then there'll be a new normal when whenever that is, when all this goes away, or hopefully it goes away and doesn't come back. What does the new normal, what is the future, do you think, you may not know, look like for Charlie Hustle?
Well, I think our old norm wasn't working. I think this is a great opportunity for change, not just, throughout the world. I think there's a perspective of being home right now. Like I said, it's amazing to watch my first baby girl grow up a little bit more. I think companies are realizing that, you don't need these big offices and all these distractions every day to get work done. In fact, it might be more valuable to have, to be working from home. And society had kind of moved, in the way of more remote working. But, I think this means a lot of different things, and it's hard to really get clarity on that. But things will change, and whether it's masks becoming norm, and they'll find a cure. It's kind of like we didn't start the fire, but I think it's important for us as Homo sapiens, if you will, to take this time and evaluate, how we can all be better, just in all facets. You think this is a great opportunity for us to change as individuals, as one, and come out better, come out treating each other better. There's a lot to take in here, and it's got to change. So
as we wrap things up, and you could see how to get a hold of Charlie Hustle, their site's so much fun to look at, because you never know what new cool thing they have. I think I saw that the one about Kauffman Stadium
Mm-hmm.
Right? Was it I'd rather be at the K?
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I like that one.
That's a good
Me
one.
too.
Right now.
Me too. What are your two final questions? What are you guys working on right now? I mean, I don't know what you can tell me, but are you still constantly thinking of new stuff? I'm sure you are. I know you are.
Yeah, I think my job is to look ahead. I get to play the visionary, but during this time, we had talk about pivoting. We basically stripped everything we did for April. All our launches. We were getting ready for Royals baseball. Springtime. That's huge for our industry. Sporting KC. We just did a new deal with them, so we were really excited to begin promoting that, and those things changed, and now May happens, and who knows? You can't really make a ton of plans, but we have some stuff coming down the pipeline that was really already in the mix, and then like you said, there's different opportunities to explore, and we're doing that, but our strategy remains what it was at the beginning of the year. You move forward and you find different ways to knock it out of the park. So
still a heavy focus on masks for now.
For now, yeah, I think we have about 6 people in here in all different areas of the office packaging mask orders, and got donations going out. So it feels good. That's the focus. I think it's important to not do too many things, but also be looking at what is coming down the pipeline. So we're thankful to have jobs and be working and doing something we love. So it's great.
Last question for you, and I've almost always asked my weekly podcast guests this question, and then I wasn't doing it on this daily podcast, and I realized, well, why not? It's to me my favorite question that I ask every guest. So it's going to be a daily. It's going to be a staple here. It's essentially a culture question. The question is, what is small ball to your company? Meaning, it's not all about the home runs. It's not all about that big moment. What's the single? What's the sacrifice? What are the little things that make up the big things at Charlie Hustle?
I think it's it's the base hits. It's the Whit Merrifield. It's like how can you sharpen the sword, and that happens every day. It coming in and making progress daily, and one thing that's super successful for me is like I'm old school a little bit. I like to journal, but I write down my day. I write down my week, my month, my quarter, and it all wraps up into a year. And if you can chop up your goals that way, there's you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. But I think I forgot the original question, but
yeah, no, you're hitting it right now. What are the little things that add up to the big things? And I'll let you finish it, but the journaling and the keeping track of everything, that is a little in the moment. That is a little thing that does lead to the big.
Yeah, you got to have that big vision, and then chop it up into a recipe that makes sense and that you can attack. And it's all about being attainable and not trying to do too much, just moving forward every day. So,
well, I'll let you get back to work. I know how busy you are, which truthfully, that is the case when there's not a pandemic. That is the case when there is the pandemic. I know it's the way that you're wired. I hope you guys are getting a little bit of sleep. You're probably not, but that's okay. You'll get through it. I'm glad that you have a baby girl to share this with, even if she doesn't remember it. Boy, there's something. I don't even know if now I got teenagers. I don't even know if they're awake right now. They may still be sleeping. So, who knows?
Here's a little picture of her.
Yes. Up there it is. Oh yeah. What's her name?
Olivia Rose. So
Olivia Rose McAnulty.
Beauty. Yeah.
She's beautiful. Well, hey, congratulations on everything and beyond the success of the heart, and now it being the design, the logo. what represents our city and our community. More importantly, I think now to me, you are showing truly what it means and what you mean and what this whole community means. So keep grinding. I know you will. And anything you need, obviously, you know where to find me. So I appreciate it, Chase. Good to see your face. Good to talk to you. And let us know anything you need promoted, anything you need out there. I'm happy to do it.
Sounds good. Let's get together when this the dust settles here.
We've been known to do that a time or two, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Chase. I'll talk to you soon. Great work.
Take care, my man.
All right, that's Chase McAnulty, the owner and founder of Charlie Hustle, which has become such an iconic company here in Kansas City. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Got another show tomorrow. I'm booked up until at least through the first week of May, which is awesome because it's just filling up one guest after the next. And so I'm really excited. Just different guests, different stories every single day. Want to thank my friends at Enterprise Bank and KC Cattle Company for their support of Rounding the Bases. Again, check out KC Cattle Company. They will deliver Wagyu beef, veteran owned and operated, and couldn't do this without Enterprise Bank and Trust. Hashtag no stopping you. Thanks for watching Rounding the Bases Live, presented by Enterprise Bank and Trust. See you back here tomorrow on Wednesday.